Welcome to today's weekly reality check. I'm going to say something a lot of veterans are thinking right now. Memorial Day is supposed to be about honoring the Americans who died defending this country, not political theater, not activist branding, and not governors turning ICE protests into campaign events. As a disabled military veteran, watching New Jersey Governor Mikie Sherrill show up at the Delaney Hall ICE facility protest during Memorial Day weekend was honestly infuriating. Because here's the reality. Nobody seems willing to say out loud. Governor Sherrill doesn't even have direct oversight authority over the federal ICE detention facility. ICE is federal. Delaney Hall operates under Federal Immigration Enforcement Authority, not state political management. So what exactly was she doing there? The answer looks pretty obvious to a lot of Americans. Political signaling. And honestly, Memorial Day should have been off limits for that kind of stunt. Families across America were visiting cemeteries. Veterans were remembering friends who never came home. Gold Star families were grieving loved ones who died wearing the uniform. Meanwhile, politicians were standing outside an ICE detention facility trying to score activist credibility points. That's disgraceful. And here's what frustrates a lot of us veterans even more. ICE agents are treated like villains by politicians who rely on the very freedoms and protections those federal officers are trying to preserve. ICE exists because nations have borders. That's reality. Every sovereign country on earth enforces immigration law. Everyone. And yet somehow, in modern American politics, especially among progressive Democrats, supporting immigration enforcement has become treated like some kind of moral failure. It's absurd. ICE officers are not sitting around inventing laws. They enforce federal immigration law passed by elected officials. That's their job. And frankly, the amount of disrespect directed at ICE agents over the last several years has become completely detached from common sense. These officers deal with human trafficking, cartel operations, gang activity, illegal entry enforcement, deportation orders, and dangerous criminal cases. But Democratic politicians constantly reduce them to political villains because it energizes activist crowds. Enough already, and the timing matters here. That's what makes this worse. This happened on Memorial Day weekend, a holiday connected directly to sacrifice, patriotism, citizenship, and national service. You would think elected leaders, especially a governor, would understand the symbolism there. Apparently not, because modern politics has become addicted to activism. Everything has to become a protest. Everything has to become a performance. Everything has to become a social media moment. Even Memorial Day apparently isn't sacred enough anymore. And honestly, I think ordinary Americans are getting sick of it. Most Americans still believe borders matter, citizenship matters, immigration law matters, and ICE matters. That's not extremism. That's basic national sovereignty. But instead of supporting federal law enforcement, too many Democratic leaders spend their time undermining ICE publicly while demanding sympathy for people who entered the country illegally. And veterans notice that contradiction. We notice it very clearly, because some of us spent years serving a country where borders, citizenship, and national identity were treated as serious things worth defending. Now we come home and watch politicians act embarrassed by the concept of immigration enforcement itself. That disconnect is real, and people are tired of pretending it isn't. Now let me be fair. People absolutely have the constitutional right to protest. That's America. But there's a difference between peaceful protest and turning Memorial Day into a political anti-ICE stage while federal officers are trying to do their jobs. And frankly, Governor Sherrill should have known better. Leadership is supposed to calm division, not inflame it for headlines. But modern politics reward spectacle now. That's the problem. And honestly, veterans are getting tired of watching patriotism treated like an inconvenience by politicians chasing activist approval. Enough is enough. This has been your weekly reality check, where Memorial Day should still honor the fallen, not political grandstanding. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Cheers for now.